Hey guys, and welcome to Better by the Day end of month one. So it's been 31 days. It is the 1st of February, and I'm going to do a wrap up for the first month. I decided to do this instead of today's normal video today because I thought it'd be fun to go through the whole month, share all the insights with you, and also explain, quite a few reasons why I'm doing what I'm doing. So without any further ado, let's get into how I spent my month. So what I did was I put together a little, like how many hours I spent chart. I'll put it up on the screen here so you guys can look at it with me. And I'm going to walk you through it now slowly. And just real quick before I start walking you through it, I think it kind of goes without saying, but some of these things overlap. So for example, when I'm doing my stretching, lots of times I'm doing my reading. When I'm exercising, lots of times I'm studying. When I'm walking around, lots of times I'm doing video editing. You got the idea. If I can do two of these things at once without compromising one or the other, I absolutely do it. So anyways, with all that said, this is still a rough estimation. Nothing is perfect or exact. I really didn't want to do everything exactly and perfectly. That would have taken way too long. But these are very, let's just say, highly accurate guesses. Everything here is going to be within, 8% error, 5% error, something in there. But anyways, let's get into it. So this month, in 31 days, I spent 180 hours sleeping. That's below what I should be sleeping. That is not sleeping enough. That was not consistent. That was not good sleep. I had many crappy days of sleep. It definitely affected my performance. It affected everything to do with my efficiency. It affected my attitude, my emotional state. It affected how many carbs I wanted to eat the next day. It spiked my hunger hormones. It dropped my testosterone by 30% every night I didn't sleep enough. Lack of focus, more susceptible to illness. You guys understand. You need to sleep more. This was not enough sleep for me. It is what it is. I'm already well aware of it, but it was also not something that could be helped too much this month. Moving forward, cooking, 14 hours total. Now that cooking time is also kind of paired with cleaning of the kitchen and everything else, but you get the idea. 14 hours for 31 days, every day. It's hard to say, but it's pretty rare to spend more than 30 minutes cooking in a day. It's pretty rare. You guys see how I cook. Most of my meals are about 5 minutes. Eating, 2 hours. Reading, 30 hours. Meditation, 4 hours. Now, as for the meditation, that's usually just a few minutes here or there. It's nothing special about it. I don't sit quietly for an hour or anything. I haven't done that in a while. I am planning on it. I really do enjoy just sitting for an hour and meditating. It's been a while. Maybe tomorrow. But anyways, breath work, 5 hours. Breath work is my Wim Hof. It is my feather breathing. It is specific breath work like bellows breathing that I do before runs. It is specific styles of breath work I do whilst I'm stretching. You get the idea. Cleaning. This is, cleaning the gym, cleaning my house. You get the idea. 11 hours. Family friend time, 12 hours. This is just kind of hanging out with people I associate with and enjoy spending time with. Skill learning. So my skill learning was forging. Spent 6 hours working on my forging skills. 6 hours working on my knife throwing skills. Real quick, I mentioned this before, but when you're trying to learn a skill, high quality, focused practice, a few minutes a day, spaced repetitions. Make sure you are sleeping enough. Make sure you understand the how and the why you're doing the practice. First principle basis. Practice with massive focus. When you're practicing, practice on specific things and work around the skill, learning different things having to do with the skill. Axe throwing, 2 hours. Gardening, 4 hours. Cardio for the month. Walking, 136 hours. Jogging, 6 hours. Running, 2 hours. Sprinting, 12 minutes. Tire drag, 50 minutes. Jump rope, 2 hours. A lot of walking every day. I walk every which way, every place. I make sure I do at least an hour of walking every day, regardless of whether I'm walking somewhere or not. Jogging, I do my jogging every morning. It's just 10 or 15 minutes a morning. Running, Depending on my training, I might be doing running. My running is never too long nowadays. Sprinting 12 minutes. That's literally me doing my 10, 15-second sprints, maximum effort, 3-4 times in my training. Tire drag is me just dragging that big old tire around me. I usually do that. It depends on the day, but usually it's about 20 minutes at a time. Jump rope, I just randomly do that throughout the day, whenever, a couple minutes here or there. You get the idea. Exercise. This is my training, either with weights or, whatever, cables, body weight, you get the idea. Basically just loading my muscles with great intensity so as to stimulate hypertrophy, targeting all 4 muscle fibers, and then resting with sufficient time in between or correct frequency so as that my muscles come back bigger and stronger than the time previous. As you guys know, I do both myofibril style training directly, sarcoplasmic style training directly, and hybrid style training. And again, all that is only 6 hours in 31 days. That's 6 hours total of my training in 31 days. Time spent on flexibility, 4.5 hours. That's mostly my nightly stretching, but other stuff as well. Mobility time, 3 hours. Plyometric, 3 hours. These are mostly warm-ups for my workouts, or they are specific targeted activities I do for specific purposes. Work, this is most of it. Article writing, 7 hours. Book writing, my 10th book, 12 hours. Video editing, 34 hours. A lot of video editing this month. Marketing, 12 hours. Update stores, my media stores, my online stores, my website, my YouTube, my Instagram, my Facebook. You guys get the idea. Updating all that stuff continuously, 10 hours. Time spent directly with clients or for clients, 248 hours. Now let's get into the weight loss. So before I start explaining the weight loss, and I got a graph for you guys to see what it actually looks like, by the way, I'm going to be addressing a very simple thing that is just heavily overlooked by everybody. All this stuff that I just went over, all the hours that I spent this month, that is a typical, normal month. I have not increased my cardio. I have not increased my jogging, my running, sprinting, jump rope, nothing. I have not increased my exercises. I have not increased my sets or my reps. Everything is as normal completely. The only thing I have changed, and that's just, I noticed I was starting to get a little bit chubby with fat again, and mostly due to lack of sleep, I should point out, by the way, and I'll talk more about that later. All I'm doing is cutting my carbs. So I'm about to explain exactly what that means, but that was the only thing I have changed differently this month, and I'm down 19 pounds. That's it. Just change the carbs. But anyways, let's get into it now. So before I started, my daily total calories was between 5,520 and 6,700. My protein daily was between 300 and 350 grams. That is between 1,200 and 1,400 calories worth of protein per day. My carbohydrates was 900 to 1,100 grams, totaling 3,600 to 4,400 calories per day. My fat was 80 to 100 grams, totaling 720 to 900 calories per day. So again, that's what I used to be eating. It was a little bit heavy. It was me thoroughly enjoying myself pretty regularly, eating apple fritters, pizzas, donuts, pancakes, not thinking too much about it. So I would have, I hate this term, but I know you guys understand it like this. I don't do cheat days, just like I don't take days off. But I quite frequently will order a pizza for myself. I'll go get 3 or 4 burgers and a milkshake. I'll just eat food which is processed, not the best for you, and extremely high calorie. Now, without getting too much into it, this is a beneficial thing to do for several reasons, provided it's used intelligently and mostly infrequently. This is not what I was doing. I was just heavily stressed. I wanted to relieve some tension in my life, so I'd have donuts and pizza and burgers, 3-4 times a week. But that will add up to an additional, it can really add up to about 20,000 calories per week or more, and that adds up quite a bit. But anyway, so previously, that's what I was doing, somewhere between 5,000 and about 7,000 calories a day. What I did was I then cut my carb intake by give or take about 500 a day. Or a little bit more per day, depending. But anyway, so when I began day one, this was now only consuming 2,720 calories to 4,300 calories per day. My protein was the same, 300 to 350 grams. My fat was the same, 80 to 100 grams. You got to have a high amount of fat, by the way, for healthy hormones, a couple other things. Carbs, though, is now only 200 to 500 grams per day, or 800 to 2,000 calories per day. That's a big drop in calories just from carbs. Also, not really eating processed food anymore. Mostly all of it is unprocessed, like I always talk about. So I've really cut back on all this stuff I usually eat. Although I would like to point out that this week I had donuts, I had apple fritters, and I had pizza. Sorry, I had pizza last week. I had pizza the week before that. Week before that, I had a couple nice dinners out. Doesn't matter, still infrequently doing it, but not nearly as much as I had been. Now, this is going to mean that my daily deficit, by switching from what I was before to what I am now, my daily deficit is going to be somewhere between 2,400 and 2,800 calories per day, just by cutting the carbs like that. And of course, I'm also going a little bit lower with the protein and fat as well. Not a lot, but just kind of a little bit lower than I normally would. Timesing that by 7 is going to give me my weekly deficit of 16,800 to... I did something wrong. I think it's supposed to be 19,600. Yeah, 19... Yeah, my bad, guys. Sorry. It's supposed to be 19,600. And then you would multiply that by 4 for the 4 weeks. And that would give me my total monthly deficit of basically somewhere around 7,500 calories, give or take. Now, to understand, 1 pound of fat is 3,500 calories. That's how much it actually takes to create that pound of fat. That's how much it is when you burn it off. That's how much energy is released. Now, taking the low-balled version and dividing that by 1 pound of fat gives me a low estimate of, per month, 19 pounds of fat. Taking the high-ball number of my monthly deficit and dividing it by 1 pound of fat is going to give me 22 pounds of fat. Now that I know that, and I look at the chart, which I'm just about to get into with you guys, I know I've lost roughly 19 pounds. Now, that being said, the 19 pounds lost was not all fat. I've addressed this in other videos as well, but a lot of that was intestinal mass, it was water retention, and some other things. But long story short, I've probably only actually lost maybe 5, 6, 7 pounds of fat. The rest of it was extra water weight and intestinal mass. So, moving forward, I'm going to put the chart on the screen now. This is a chart of the days 1 through 30. My body weight starting at 220 and up, I took the chart to 198. But this is what it legitimately looks like when you're attempting to lose the weight. In the beginning, as soon as you cut out all those massive amount of carbs, you're going to have, basically within a day or two, your weight drop by a couple pounds. That's that water weight, and that's some of that intestinal mass weight. Then you're going to see that it's kind of zigging and zagging, but mostly along kind of the same axis for a little while, up until about day 19, give or take. Around day 19, it looks like that's when my system actually went into fat burning mode. Well, probably about a couple days before that, it went into the fat burning mode. And that's where you can see the accelerated progression from day 19 till about, it looks like about day 25. And then it's going to go into that plateau stage again. Now that zigging and zagging that is there at the end from day 25 to day 31, that's probably going to continue in a stable pattern for a few more days, maybe till the 4th or the 5th. I mean, if I don't screw anything up. And then it's going to go up again. And you'll see me lose another 3, 4, 5 pounds. That will, once again, be fat. So the lowest point, or the highest point, depending how you may look at it on the graph, is 200 pounds. Now, as you can see, since that day, the 25th, my weight's gone up again. But that doesn't mean that I've gained fat. That just means I'm holding more water these days. And I actually feel a little bit bloated as well. I need to increase my water amount, and I need to sleep more. Now, this goes back to what I was talking about in regards to sleep. When you're not sleeping, every single process in your body is just, it's not working optimally. Most people require 7.5 hours of sleep. This is very important that people understand this. Most people require 7.5. But that's uninterrupted. So 1 block of sleep is 4 cycles of REM sleep. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those 4 cycles take 90 minutes to complete. That's 1 block of sleep. Now, provided that block does not get interrupted, you had a good block of sleep. Now, ideally, you want to have 5 or 6 blocks of sleep per night uninterrupted. In between these blocks, you're naturally going to wake up, go pee, get a drink of water or something, turn over in bed. But you want to have these blocks themselves uninterrupted. That also means alarms. You don't want to set alarms. You want to wake up naturally. Setting an alarm is going to basically just disrupt this whole process. You don't want to do that. That's why you feel like shit when you wake up with your alarm. And of course, you never want the alarm to go off and then go back to sleep. That's the worst thing you could do. But neither here nor there. Had I been sleeping sufficiently, which I absolutely wasn't even close to, I actually would have got more work done faster, more efficiently. I would have lost more fat, absolutely. I wouldn't be bloated the way that I am right now. I'm a little bit bloated. It's that water retention. I wouldn't be kind of slow, sluggish, and grumpy the way I've been the last couple of days. It's just because I haven't been sleeping. My recovery rate would be higher. My hormones would be better optimized. My hunger levels would be lower. I'm always kind of constantly craving carbs these last few days. It's because I haven't been sleeping. So again, and then one more point that I wanted to make about this is I know this probably seems like a lot for most people. You have to understand that this level of activity is normal for me. Probably the exercise seems low to most people, only 6 hours. But as far as the cardio, the walking, jogging, running, that stuff, that's not that much. Hour or 2 per day of walking / tire drag, jogging, running, plyometrics, mobility, whatever. It's not that much. I'm with my clients all day as well, so I'm also moving constantly throughout the day. I'm always demonstrating things. I don't like taking cars places. I prefer walking places. I prefer walking fast when I walk. It's just how I like to move around the world, rapidly. I don't even do it for the purposes of cardio. I just like going from point A to B pretty rapidly. It's how I move. But anyways, I hope you guys found this helpful. I hope you can apply some of this to your own life. And I would just really like to stress that the only thing I changed was my carbs. That's literally it. You guys have been able to watch basically the whole month. I'm leaving a lot out. Obviously, I can't record all of this every day. It's hard enough recording what I do and then editing it and still getting everything done. But you guys get the idea. It all gets done every day with me. My clients, most of them live fairly similar lives where they get a lot of stuff that, well, not quite like this, but they get a lot of stuff done, way more than most people think is possible. But it's just them learning correctly. It's them educating themselves to hows and the whys. Because if you know the how and the why, it's much more likely you're going to do it. If you know the consequences if you don't do it, and you know the consequences if you do it, then you have a force kind of pushing you, because you don't want to go back there, and you have a force kind of pulling you, your goals, where you're trying to go. It's much more helpful. Me having all of the knowledge that I have about nutrition and exercise and everything else, it just makes my life easier and easier and easier. It means I get to have 15-minute workouts, and that's all I have to do. It means I don't need a gym. It means I don't need anything besides the information I have in my brain and then applying it 15 minutes a day with the correct intensity. And that means I'm going to be building 5-6 pounds of muscle every year the way that I have been. And I just get bigger and better every year doing all the basic stuff. So guys, I hope you found this helpful, and let me know in the comments what you think about all this.